no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off and knowing I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off and knowing I gotta make it. I'm
I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Red Line Racing Network. Tonight, it's Friday night, which means the stars of the racers, or excuse me, Friday night Xfinity Light Series are coming at you short track style, hot flying, high octane racing action from the paperclip. So make sure you got plenty of popcorn, strap in. It's about to get real trackside as we get ready to go 100% race length, short track racing. Thank you all for being along for the ride with us this evening. Qualifying wrapped up. Currently about 1 minute remaining in that warm-up session. Right now down trackside, Adam Benefield in the 83 has the fastest lap out there in this warm-up. 19:19, that's the time to beat as we get ready to go green flag racing. Please stick around for all the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Red Line Racing Network. Want to thank all of you again for tuning in, spending your Friday night with us right here for the biggest show in iRacing this evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's race information before those cars begin to grid. Throw that up on the big screen for you. Again, the Friday Night Lights Xfinity Series, Martinsville, 250 laps, 100% race length. We are going all the way. Going to have stages enabled, of course. Stage 1 going to be 60 laps, stage 2 120, and then we're going to run it out to the distance on that final stage. We're going to have 5 sets of Goodyears, aka Dr. Feelgoods, down in the pits. Limit 17X, that's when you're going to get that Dilly Buyer Award, and as always, no fast repairs. 74 degrees ambient air temperature. Right now the barometer clocking in at 76 degrees water drain, so it's awful muggy for this time of the year. Overcast skies, that's going to help hold all the heat in on the racetrack, and those winds a non-factor at 7 miles an hour. As that field now begins to get set behind that iRacing.com pace car, as it's the calm before the storm. Let's go ahead now and send it down trackside. Hunter Truex going to have the pole here this evening. He put up a scorcher of a lap time. Busted into the 18-second bracket. And again, this racetrack is really going to test the driver's patience. It's going to test the stress factors. It's going to wear these guys out mentally and physically. Who's going to survive alive, stay out of the chaos, and be there when it counts? Stick with us right here to find out. We'll have all the coverage from the green flag to the checkered flag right here on Red Line Racing Network. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting lineup. Again, brought to you by Team Watson Racing Setups. On the pole, Hunter Truex in that 71 machine. Outside of him, Adam Benefield from Team Conti in that 83. Joseph McWhorter, who has been hot each and every time these guys load up, going to start in fourth, while Bryson Hicksonball is going to round out your top 5. Eddie Rose, Dakota Knoll, Cody Bird, Mark Padgett, Dante Whitner, and Matthew Wheeler. That's going to round out your top 10. Well, Adam Gatler, Jordan Pearson, Cody Deal, Gaza, and Charles Velquez Jr. That's your top 16. Tanner Marty from Sunday Night NASCAR and Ken Ron, 2 of those stars going to be in the field 17th and 18th, while John Kelly, Eric Winfield, Kyle Ammon, Jeff Grade, and Cody Wagner round out your top 24. Chase Heggie, Carlos Francia, Jason Hale, Jeremy Clapper, Tim Phillips, Steve Benjamin, that's your top 30. As we now send it back up here to the point as those lights go out on that iRacing.com pace car, which means we're getting ready to go lead, mean, and green here tonight for 200 and fast and furious laps. It looks like they may have added a lap here as we're at a short track. So didn't mean to oversell it there too soon, folks. I promise you, this time by we are going. That iRacing.com pace car is going to peel off. Hunter Trule's going to have the button as they come out of the turns 3 and 4 complex. Trule can see Barty has that green flag in hand, hard on the loud pedal up through the gearbox, and those glorious V8s come roaring to life for the first time tonight. Green flag action live underway here from Martinsville. Beautiful start here for the 71. He catches the field on the snoozer. He's going to jettison out to about a 4/10 of a second lead already over Joseph McWhorter, who's already up one position in that Chevrolet Camaro out of St. Roberts, Missouri. This guy is as real as it gets. 68 there. Bryson Hixabaugh really down low, exploring the space out there on the racetrack. And that may actually cost him, as now he's going to be side by side and able actually to hold on to that position. Some great piece of driving there out of that driver in the Ford Mustang. We send it back up to the front. The McConey man, that Toyota, currently carries the torch here in the early going. McWhorter, however, not letting him get away. Again, this race is all about survival. You got to make sure you have a car that can win it at the end. Don't get caught racing the competition. Sometimes you just got to race this racetrack, hit your marks, and if you can keep it clean, good things will happen. As he's going to continue to run there about 0.2 of a second off the back of the 71. Toyota leads the way, then Chevrolet runs in second and that third place position. You have to go back to Hixabaugh to that fourth spot before you find the first Ford in competition. Schofield round out the top 5. There's a little bit of a gap back to Eddie Rose in that 6th place position. Another Team Conti entry this evening. And in fact, great battle here around that 7th place position. Paget has it, however, Dakota Knoll wants it. He's going to throw the Louisville slider in there, take the spot. The 68's going to wash up the racetrack. Check the box for Paget. He is on the move here early in the early going. I'll tell you what, it is a hornet's nest right back here behind the 55 ride. And that is going to be the first caution on the racetrack. First caution for incident. As that's going to slow things back down once again to a snail's pace. Tell you what, the start of that race was beautiful. However, Velquez Jr. may have had some help out there on the racetrack, as apparently it went wrong for him early. Keep your eye on the 64. As we go ahead and cue playback here. Let's take a look at the instant replay. Oh, he got a little too spicy on the loud pedal. Those Goodyears said, not today. They slipping around. He goes. Not going to collect anyone else in his self-spin. So no harm, no foul there. Other than a little bit of a mistake, these tires still cold. They're not making all the grip. And you have to be respectful of that throttle pedal. Or that gas pedal, I should say. If you give it too much, around she goes. And that's going to be a one-way ticket to the back of the field. This Hunter Trule still commands this robust field of a star-studded lineup all the way from the 36th position. Any one of these drivers can win anytime they rack them and stack them here on the racetrack. Too early to see anyone come down pit road, I assume. Everyone should stay out there on the racetrack as we cycle back now to the live side of things. checking into the YouTube.com live chat. I see there's a few of you guys out there tuning in. We appreciate you. Sound off. Let us know who you're rooting for. We'll shout out your favorite driver and get you some screen time as well. And after all, that does usually amp them up a little bit more, knowing you're rooting for them. And oftentimes can help them crack into the podium or heck, even punch their way into victory lane right here on Red Line Racing Network. Lights do go out on that iRacing.com pace car once again. So here he goes. Here we go. 2x2, side by side, Noah's Ark situation. We approach the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. And Truel once again executes restart mastery. Going to be able to clear that hornet's nest behind him. All that trench-style World War II warfare going on behind him. Now the first three cars get single file. And a yellow flag shows its ugly face once again. Tell you what, this is the last thing these drivers want to see as they try to get into that rhythm here at a racetrack like this. It's a dance between that throttle control and that brake pedal. And now you're starting to get them out of sync with these restarts. Plus, that's also going to heat cycle these tires as well. So we're going to have to slow things down before we get back to it once again. This time, Jeff Kane may have been involved. As we send it back to the replay side of things once more. Keep your eye on the 49 ride. And again, this coming back to the green flag. Oh, the big checkup there. And he just wasn't paying attention. Goes up there and administers a shot in the business end of that race car. And I'm not so sure he's done here either. The caution was for that. I am not 100% sold on that. However, that's what timing and scoring is indicating. Let's take another peek here. I have another driver queued up. I think this may have been the culprit. The man out of Youngstown, Ohio. You can see some damage already to the back of that number 3 machine. And damage to the front. So clearly he took it from both ends. I think that's where the problem may have occurred versus that little bit of contact we've seen out there on the racetrack from the other angle. Nonetheless, cycle back to the live side of things. It's a short track with a lot of cars there on the field. Sometimes can wreak havoc on the replay side of things. We'll try to get that adjusted a little bit, or optimize it, I should say. Change the tolerances a little bit there. Is that going to get waved off? And we are having some big time problems getting this race under green flag action. We're going to have to rack and stack the field once again here from Martinsville. Take a chance here to catch our breath while we can, as these races typically go on sometimes until the wee hours of the morning. Hope that's not the case, but you never know what this historic track has in store for you each and every time you show up here to send it. Coming out of turn number 4. He's going to put it through the floorboards one more time, and once again, Hunter able to walk away in that Toyota from the competition. Side by side, door to door behind him. McCorder and Benefield throwing knockout punches at one another here early. McCorder now going to snag the spot from the 83. Single file to the top 3 once again here. And just behind him, here comes the 47 of Schofield, challenging Hixenbaugh for that 4th place position. Hicksonbaugh up one spot on the scoring pylon from where he started. That's good for fourth right now, but some of these drivers behind them currently have the excitometer dialed up. Name of the game here is you'd like to get single file and rip the conveyor belt. The preferred line is right around the bottom of this racetrack. However, you got to be careful because there's curbing and an elevation change. Should you drive over that in these solid rear axle cars, it's going to upset the balance and you're going to go for a ride. Seem to have much better success there on that restart. 21 laps, now 22 on the board, officially written in the history books out of the scheduled 250. And for the first time this race, we're going to go ahead and go all out, grab that dial at home, crank it up along with us right here on Red Line Racing Network. Let's do this. Out of the all-out wide-open coverage, because caution out on the racetrack once again here as we got one car facing the wrong way. That's going to be the 49 ride that Chevrolet Camaro probably got some help. Jeff Kane probably got administered a bumper to the business end of that race car if I had to take a guess at it. And again, that all-out wide-open coverage segment brought to you by Team Watson Racing Setups, the official speed shop of Red Line Racing Network. And that, again, folks, is going to slow us down to a snail's pace here at the pavement. Is this going to be third caution or incident on the evening? A couple of restarts did get waved off. We have had a handful of yellow flags here in the early going. It's this one involving Jeff Kane. Moderate amount of damage to the back of that Chevrolet, but here at Martinsville Aero, really not part of the storyline. As long as that race car is driving somewhat straight, and you got all the power. Go ahead and take a look at the replay. See what went wrong for the 49. Put the power down. Oh, he hit that curve, and just like I was talking about, that's going to make that back of the car step out, and the 96 is going to finish him off. Really nowhere to go if you're the 96 there. He is around for the ride. Almost the John forced it in reverse there, trying to make sure he cleared the racing line. Good job, but unfortunately a little extra damage to that Camaro. Just like I was saying a few minutes ago, you hit that curbing. It could really throw a monkey wrench into your plans out there on the racetrack. We're going to go old school VHS mode here. Engage the flux capacitor. Let's send it up to the eye in the sky, see what the chopper cam picked up. We're going to run this at quarter speed. You see the flames popping out of the throttle, hard on the brakes, and watch this 49 jump the curbing right there. You see the car get upset. That's going to make the back end step out right here. He's going to come around in the 96. Barely any time to react. He's going to administer a shot as they get up close and personal, and that's going to flow rider the 99 right round. We could be seeing a lot of that tonight here at Martinsville, as that preferred line is right there, eating on the bottom. However, should you try to take it too skinny, well, that's the price you pay. Plenty of time for him to recover, though, as we're still in the stages of this one. Beautiful back here for the lead, leading up. Little John Ford special drag racing down the straightaway. That benefit is going to clear. For the first time tonight, Kate Luke clears the clean air and the lead here at the pay-per-click. 71 will be falling back off the pace here a little bit, or this could be a cover conservation strategy, but then again, state racing is in place. Oh, he gets a piece of the wall there. You see the smoke in the restaurant. Hits the ball on the attack. Great center speed, corner speed on that race car. Into a position better back in the throttle. Look at the 71 fighting back on the outside. And it's not the preferred lane. He's trying to get it working. He's able to get enough distance. He really hit the 47 to Schofield to shove that race car back down in line. Good piece of driving there by Keith. And the race car, I believe, is not handling the super white right now. Check back in YouTube.com live chat. Kyle Holden heads up. We'll set the mic volume to blast. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you chiming in here, being a part of the ride. Ashley, of course, in the house as always, cheering on her favorite driver, 71, and caution back out on the racetrack once again, as that's going to slow things down here from the beautiful state of Virginia. Here in the mountains, of course, back in 2004, the site where Hendrick Motorsports, specifically Rick Hendrick, lost a lot of close family members, friends, and colleagues. Can't believe it was that long ago, but time flies the older you get, I swear. Adam Benefield going to be the point car. Bryson Hixenbaugh up 3 spots from where he started. Biggest mover of the race, you got to go back to that 15th place position. Jason Hale in that 08 machine up 15 positions. So he is getting it done here in the early going. Under caution here, once again, we're going to step aside, pay some bills, but we'll be back with all the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Red Line Racing Network. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. Green flag back in the air. Red Line Racing Network always going to carry the sights and sounds of Xfinity Night, Friday Night Lights Xfinity Series action. And the 83 of Adam Benefield continues to assert his reign right now over this field of star-studded lineup each and every time these guys rack up. Any one of these guys can win each and every Friday night. I firmly believe that. As Benefield and Hixenbaugh currently run 1-2, and how many times have we seen that over the course of this season thus far? Hunter Truel, your pole sitter, has slid back to that third place position. In fact, he is under siege right now from Eddie Rose. That Chevrolet going to try to turn under him, get a good run there off the corner. Slid the nose just a little bit there on exit, and he's going to have to re-rack, restack, and try to do it again. In fact, let's send it down trackside and jump on board with The 46. Oh, he went for it there. Caught a piece of the curbing. Maybe we'll just keep it right here for right now. Because each and every time I go down to the cockpit mode, that's when they want to execute the side-by-side pass. This is a true story. Getting all of it. Just over 9,000 RPMs before he is hard on the binders. Nothing sounds like that glorious V8 underneath the hood. Overdrove the corner there. You see the price he pays. That car washed up the racetrack. And all that ground he gained gone in the blink of an eye. Now the 71 almost steps on his lug nuts. He almost lost it. That's going to help Rose regain some of that real estate that he lost to the 71 just moments ago. As you can see, these Dr. Feelgoods are transitioning now to Feelbads, talking about those Goodyear Eagles, of course. Again, this battle for that fourth place position. Let's jump back through this field. Check out the paint scheme on this Ford Mustang. A little bit of a head scratcher there because you're supposed to see a bud. This scheme, of course, on that Chevrolet piloted by Dale Earnhardt Jr. However, just as we start to oogle on that scheme, the yellow flag shows its ugly face once again. Caution going to come out here on the speedway. And we've seen a lot of these drivers starting to hang on here for dear life. Nobody has been down pit road inside of the top 14. Or top 15, excuse me. So we could see some of the front runners peel off and come down pit road. And right on cue, here we go. Pit road's going to become the hottest place in the joint. Hunter Truex, Eddie Rose, Jim Schofield, and company. Here comes the cavalry. Everyone in the top 26 coming down for 4 Dr. Feelgoods in fuel. Hixenbaugh going to stay out, though. I'll tell you what, he always has a phenomenal strategy when it comes to these races. Sometimes I'm left going, what did he do that for? But he always has an answer. And again, the talent behind the wheel that I'll probably never achieve, and I'm okay with that. But your leader is going to stay out there on a pair of Grandma's Sunday slippers. In fact, the same for Bird. So your front two are going to be sweating to the oldies. McWhorter on back. So from third place on back, they're going to have the benefit of 4 sticker tires. As this could get interesting. Always got to make sure you're not going to light them up here on the restart on old shoes. So how many times have we seen that play a factor at Martinsville over the years? What do you say for this one here? We jump down on board with Hixenbaugh as he takes us back to green flag action. And that restart is going to get waved off as we're going to add another pace lap back to the board. Race control obviously seeing something they did not like. Those lights going to come back on the pace car. And for these drivers, the anticipation, the anxiety of getting back to green flag action is going to get delayed just a little bit longer here. And again, we have a heavy field tonight. 35 cars still out there on the racetrack, and that is a lot, especially considering this is only a half-mile racetrack. All right, let's try this one more time. Let's go on board with McWhorter, or Hixenbaugh, excuse me, for this restart. And a restart here in the outside lane, going up against Cody Bird on the inside. What a restart there by Hixenbaugh. No tires, no problem. I didn't think he had a chance. But once again, he proves me wrong up here in the booth. Here comes Benefield. He's on a fresh set. Should be able to easily make this pass. He's going to get to the inside. That's the preferred lane. And just like that, check the box. The 83 back to the point. That's going to slip Hixenbaugh back to second, who's still up 3 positions to the good in that Quaker State-sponsored Ford Mustang. And the caution, yet again, cannot be laid to rest. Eric Weiland may have had some help out there on the racetrack. As we go now to the instant replay, keep your eye on that 87 machine's top shelf of the racetrack. Let's go ahead and roll it. Oh, a little up close and personal there. Shifty McGee got up into him. Well, actually, let's take a little look at that. Did he come down, or did he come up, or was it a combination of both here? This could be a Martinsville racing deal. Send this up to the chopper. The eye in the sky should give us a pretty good look at this one. Let's roll it back. Oh, yeah, the 29 of Marty comes up a little bit. The 87 comes down ever so slightly. When you poke check that car on the outside, does a good job of trying to save it, and eventually the back of that race car is going to step on out. And that officially is the first don't stay your ride, use tide moment of the race. Things got real. Quick, fast, and in a hurry for the 87. He's going to light up the tires, go right round, and again, great situational awareness being executed by all these drivers on the racetrack. A lot of other leagues probably would have pile-up drove a handful of race cars in there, but not these boys. The Altoona man's going to live to survive and fight on. Here at this historic Martinsville Speedway. Under caution once again here at Martinsville. We're going to step aside once again. We'll be back with all the high-flying, high-octane racing action. Stick around. Actually, you know what? Wave off that. We're going back green flag racing. Let's keep it right here, boys. Got plenty of time to get to commercials. Hixenbaugh now. Going to restart that outside lane. Remember, he has a 62 lap tire deficit. Doesn't go that time. And he is going to Fiocchi-doke the high side lane. Look at the checkup just behind him. I'm surprised no one got squirted out of the hot dog bun there. And that is going to allow the 83 and the 46 Rose to kind of check out just a little bit. Hixenbaugh clearly holding up traffic right now. The last thing he wants to see is these cautions. It's really challenging for that Mustang to get going. That's really what's going to hurt him the most. And now he is shuffled to the outside lane. And after a restart, there is not a lot of room to sneak back down, and that's where you're going to hemorrhage the most positions, but he is hanging as tough as nails right now. Their top shelf for Mama hides the cookies as Benefield goes fast lap of the race of a 1921. As it's side by side, door to door. for that 6th place position. If Hixenbaugh burps the throttle, he has a spot to get in. But he is going to stay live and charging high on the outside. Way up top into the marbles. Oh, I just cannot get that car to turn to get down, and the 08 cut him a break of a lifetime. Jason Hale, your biggest mover of the race, gifts Bryson Hixenbaugh. And just as I say that, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, another yellow popsicle in the air. Well, this will give you folks plenty of time to go grab a snack. Grandma's got plenty of kernel-free popcorn next to me. She got her life alert in one hand, her Pabst Blue Ribbon in the other. And on that note, we're going to go pay the concession stands a visit right here in the booth. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Back under green flag action here at Martinsville Speedway in the heart of Virginia. 94 laps into the history books, 250s. The total length here tonight, 100% race length as always. Adam Benefield still commands this field of 35 cars strong. Eddie Rose in that second place position as we now jump on board with P2 for the first time this evening. Hixenbaugh now trying to work through lap traffic, and that is allowing Eddie Rose to stay within an arm's length of the leader. Last time by, Eddie Rose ran a 19.93 compared to a 2016. As that lap traffic has been a doozy for the 83, but right now he's going to have some clean real estate to work with. And right on cue, he starts to open it back up just a little bit. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Not even 100 laps into this thing. Welcome to iPacing. You know, the yellow flag variant that iRacing offers. Ooh, don't do that. Hey, can we keep the toddler out of the control room, please? Thank you, honey. As I almost had a heart attack. Caution reigns supreme once again here at the paperclip. As it's Adam Benefield, currently your leader in P2, up 4 spots. Eddie Rose, McWhorter, started third. That's where he currently resides, out of St. Roberts, Missouri. Mark Paget currently owns that 5th place position, while Hunter Truell rounds out your top 5 in the Toyota. Jim Schofield in the 47th currently sits in 6th, while John Kelly, up 12 positions in the 35 ride, rounds out your top 7. Matthew Wheeler, Jason Hale, and Jordan Pearson round out the top 10. You can see some of these cars, already having the sides of a little beating and banging. Classic indication that you're running here at the paperclip. Your leaders last down on pit road on lap 62. Take a look here and see what the leader decides to do. Remember, Hixenbaugh stayed out there for an eternity as he finds himself just inside the top 20 now. However, he was last down moments ago on lap 99. Dante Wheeler as well. Noah Woods, Carlos Forsaca, Tanner Marty as well down on lap 99 as they are mired deeper in traffic. However, it's been all the Alabama man. As it's 2. Team Connie. Wrapped Camaros that are going to own the front row here on this restart. Chevrolet is having a great showing here in this one thus far as we get ready to get back to the boogie. Chevrolet on Chevrolet action here, and Benefield is going to drop the hammer and take off like a Nissan Skyline GTR with 1,000 horsepower and all-wheel drive on that one. Making it look easy, getting back up to speed. In fact, let's send it down to the GoPro cam off the bumper. And you can see it is fast and furious, hot and heavy, just behind your leader. Trying everything he can to check out from the competition. And in fact, he has already jumped out to a 7/10 of a second advantage already. In just about 45 seconds, he's now currently right lap 105 into the history books. Lap 106 currently on the board. Let's go ahead and do our second. Crank it up. Wide open coverage here on the evening. Go ahead, grab that dial, crank it up right along with us right here on Red Line Racing Network. Let's do this thing. And again, race fans, hope you enjoyed that extended Crank It Up All Out segment brought to you by Team Watson Racing Setups. You want to put some new vibe in your ride? Well, go ahead, get with the setup shop. That is more than just a place to acquire setups. It is a family. It right there will help you. All things iRacing related. Doesn't matter what type of car it is. Next gen, this car, Xfinity. They even have a off-road and open wheel program as well. So if you want to take that next step and up your game, make sure it's Watson underneath. Making sure your race car has all the vibe in it each and every time you load into the sim. Again, once again, the official setup shop of Red Line Racing Network. Benefield continues to charge on. And he is picking them up and laying them down right now. Continues to be one of the fastest cars out there in competition. Joseph McWhorter, the car in third place, is the man on the move right now. Really doing a great job of managing those Dr. Feelgoods, as he is the fastest guy out there on the racetrack once again as we get some laps on these tires. 1997 last time by, one of two drivers still in the 19-second bracket. Oh no. Not again. That yellow just will not stay away on us tonight, folks. And once again, Adam Benefiel is going to lose. The real estate that he gave between himself, and he also had a couple lap cars in between there as well, so that cushion, that extra chaos the front runners had to navigate through, those are going to be gone. As the iRacing.com pace car is going to pick up the leader. Go ahead and check back in with the YouTube.com live chat. Ashley Sear, of course, cheering on the 71 as always. Kyle Holden, I appreciate you showing up. Tyler Hunter in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you as always. And again, folks, you have a favorite driver. Let us know who you're rooting for. Sound off. We'll shout you out and get your favorite driver some extended screen time as well over the course of our broadcast this evening. Hunter Truex on pit road. In fact, everyone from third place on back, as pit road becomes the hottest spot in the big house this evening. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. And again, rubbing is racing, and that statement there is ever so true in a place like Martinsville. Let's check back in on the weather. See how much it has changed since the drop of the green flag. Winds are up a couple points out of the west at 10 miles an hour. Ambient air temperature off a couple points, however. That cloud cover is really doing a good job of keeping the heat in, 67 degrees. Humidity, it is a muggy one for this time of the year. At 83% water drain. At track temp, 76 degrees, so they'll be making all the grip at the paperclip. Talking about those Goodyears. Whiting out there on the racing surface. As we get set to do the dance one more time, let's go out on the iRacing.com pace car. That's going to cycle the 89 of Winter to the front. He was last down on lap 42. Noah Woods outside front row. A similar situation, last down on lap number 54, and don't look now, but that bad Ford Mustang is back. Hicksonbaugh going to restart here in third. As we await the return of the green flag in the air, here we go. Once again, those V8s come roaring back to life. 2 by 2, side by side, smothered and covered just how you like your Waffle House hash browns after church on Sunday. Look at McWhorter. Dialing up the excitometer is Hicksonbaugh wants the lead. He's going to send it in there, Bon Jovi style, living on a prayer. All the outside machine gets lead and wide up there to the top lane, and that's going to open the door. And McWhorter says, if you can do it, I can do it. He's going to slipstream. Winter as well. Side-by-side battle here for third. That was almost like the running of the bulls there. He sent it in there so hard and deep, he basically forced that Chevrolet to go to the top shelf of the racetrack, or he was going to clear him out one way or the other. Oh, he makes contact. He hits the back of the 83. An inverted chrome horn there. And the 83 kind of got stacked up. Winter didn't mean to deploy that, however, not sure the 83 knows it. 71, Hunter Truhl currently in fourth. This is the battle inside the top five right here between Schofield, Truhl, and Benefield. Let's go ahead and take a look at their pit strategy. This is going to be everyone inside the top 8. Remember, Hixenbaugh stayed out on that first stint, I believe, later than anyone else. 99 laps is a long time to be out there on a set of shoes. However, now, because he made that play, has some of the freshest inside the top 5 and right on cue. Oh, we have multiple cars involved here. Oh, man, the black box is lighting up like the 4th of July. This looks to be the biggest one on the evening. Multiple cars could be involved. Jeremy Clapper as well in there for the first time this evening on the black box alert. Let's see what went wrong. Everything right here looks perfectly fine. Does it pop off in front of him? That's what I'm guessing. Either that or the black box is out to lunch. Oh, yeah, it's going to happen way in front of this cluster of cars. All right, so let's reload this. Take 2. And roll it. Coming through the corner here. Oh, the 87 breaks loose, and the 02 is going to give him the business, and then he's going to get pile driven on the passenger side door. And that's going to plug up all the escape arteries. And all those drivers having to jump hard on the brakes. And that velocity spike is what alerted all those cars to being in the incident on the racetrack for having to jump on the binders that hard. However, once again, corner off, lights the wick. The proverbial dynamite goes off as we got a big-time smoker out there on the racetrack. Someone has a horrendous tire rub. And I believe that is the 02 of Mark Padgett. No, it's going to be in front of him. Couple cars with some heavy tire rubs, tire smoke. A new addition since the most recent update here on the iRacing side of things. So now let's go back to the live. Under caution once again. Hixenbaugh going to maintain the lead. McWhorter now going to restart on his outside, and these two have had some epic battles over the course of this young season. You get to do it, the dance all over again. Hixenbaugh is going to break free. First car, single file. Side-by-side drag race behind him. Now McWhorter is going to clear. The 47 is going to wash up the hill. Almost gets turned by the 83. The 71. Hunter Truhl stuck on the outside. That Toyota's hanging tough. Going up against some of the best, the elites in this series. Tell you what, Hunter wants that spot bet. He could have got back in line, and he's going to stay on the attack on the high side of the racetrack. Now he's going to get back in line as that 08. Jason Hale was really starting to pressure for that position. or I should say the ability for Truel to get back down to the low lane. Up front, it's all Bryson Hixenbaugh, Joseph McWhorter. Started P3, now currently runs second. Adam Benefield slid back one spot from where he started. And again, not a lot of change really inside of the top 5. However, you go back to Jason Hale, and he has came from the next county over. He started in the rear with the gear, up not 12, not 20, 21 spots to the good for the man who resides in that 6th place position. Really getting it done, and I am not evicting the broadcaster's curse here tonight. I did it 3 times last night on cue. Buddy, we'll come back to you later. Let's go through the field here. Chase Hagee inside the top 30, 1 spot to the good in that 27th place position. Eric Weiland off of the racetrack, he just peeled it down pit road. Apparently has put it on the hauler. Let's check in now with Tanner Marty, a mainstay of the Sunday Night Cup Series, another 100% Race Life League on Sunday nights. You can check him out there as well. Drives a Chevrolet over there tonight. He is in the Toyota, having a good run in that 20th place position. Starting to feel some pressure now from Kyle Ammon. Oh, and Marty there is going to wash up the hill. Set it in there with too much hot sauce. Jeremy Clapper just up the road from them. Here's another stern battle for 16th, 17th, and 18th. Clapper applying the pressure from that 18th place position. Then you have Steve Benjamin and Austin Evie, who's gained 15 spots tonight and 17 for Stevie Benjamin. And again, these guys really started. Look at this racing right now going on. How bad do you want it for 16th place? Look at the run. Look how he's able to just attack the corner, send it in there. And he's going to slipstream him. What a pass there by Austin Evie. Another almost 3 wide battle behind him. That's Benjamin in the 53, John Kelly in the 04 machine. DEI throwback paint scheme on that car, and caution's going to come out once again. It's officially, I have lost count on how many times we have had the yellow flag thrown for incident. Then, of course, you're going to have 2 caution flags for the stages. And then we've had a couple wave-offs where we've had to go ahead and extend caution laps or wave off the restart, however you want to look at it. And as they slow it down, we're going to step aside here once again. Make sure we take care of all of our sponsors, partners, and everyone in the Strategic Family Alliance right here on our side. We'll be back in a few moments right here on Redline Racing Network. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Red Line Racing Network. Friday night in prime time, of course. You know who the stars are, and that's the Friday night Xfinity Series, boys, out there providing all the high-flying, high-octane racing action. As you guessed it, we're under yellow popsicle conditions here once again. Matt Metler up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, and tonight, for the first time, joining me from Beast Mode Performances Alpha Team, you know him as the Biscuit, but we're going to call him Chris Davis tonight for all intents and purposes. First and foremost, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me in the booth. And Chris, you know a lot of these drivers out there in this field tonight. What can we expect from these guys the rest of the way here, as it's been a caution-filled event thus far?
I think the intensity is just going to keep ramping up. I know it's kind of been a caution fest so far, but I think they're going to get it under control. They're going to be able to finish this race strong, but it's going to be a tough one for them.
Absolutely, certainly will. And you and I were talking before we went back live, and a lot of times this is what Martinsville does to you. This is the mental psychology piece that comes into play. These drivers, especially when you have a star-studded lineup like you do here, as each and every caution, shows its ugly face out there on the racetrack, that's time that you're losing out there on the racetrack to gain positions, that strategy going out the window, and that's just going to increase the animosity and build the stress levels inside of the cockpit of these race cars.
It does. Everybody's wanting track position right now. They're able to see the front. They want to get there as quick as possible. So, they start using that chrome bumper a little bit, and unfortunately that's what brings out these cautions. But, that's the name of the game at Martinsville. Get to the front and stay there, hopefully.
That's what Bryson Hicksonball has been doing, and so have Benefield on the 83. In fact, a little Ford on Chevrolet action is those lights do go out on that iRacing.com pace car. That the 63 and the 83 have both been fierce competitors. As that iRacing.com pace car pulls off the racetrack, there he goes, here we go. As we approach the Geico restart zone coming out of turn number 4, let's get back to the boogie, and Hicksonball drops the hammer and catches him on the snooze button once again. The 83 is going to squirt free, and just behind him in that third place position, contact between McWhorter and the 71, Hunter Truex on the outside. And they're still leaning on each other. This battle for third is hot and heavy right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that 71's really wanting to get to the bottom. He doesn't, you can ride out there for a little bit, but you want to get to the bottom, get to that preferred lane. I'd say if he can't get there within another lap or two, he's gonna start sliding backwards a little bit.
Yeah, what is it about this racetrack, Chris, that just makes that conveyor belt lane, that preferred line right around the bottom of this racetrack? And if you get hung out here in the high side, where the 71 is right now, right where you don't want to be, does that put extra stress on the tires? Does that just, make that car fade away that much quicker the longer you run up there?
It really does. You're kind of having to charge the corner a lot harder just to stay alongside of them. Pick up the gas a little bit quicker, put heat in those tires. So, the rear start lighting up off the corner exit, and you just can't get that gas down like you need to.
Absolutely. And the other thing it does is it allows the competition behind you to close in on you, because you cannot run optimum lap times because that car on the bottom is getting pinned down, so he can't get back on the throttle either. And what that other thing that does is that really minimizes the opportunities for Hunter Truex to get back in line. However, he does have an opportunity there, but he gassed her up into the corner, and he is fighting the good fight right now. He is not giving up on the top shelf of the racetrack. This has been quite the duel.
He is. He's actually holding on a lot stronger than what I was expecting. Again, I'd say another couple laps, and he's probably going to try to squeeze down in there, but every time I think that, man, he just charges that corner and gets right back up there with him.
He is. He is hanging in there right now. He is fighting the good fight. In fact, I thought for a moment he was going to try to squeeze in line, but the 47 of Jim Schofield, he closed the gap. He was not able to get down. Now he has that opportunity, and the 71 right on cue, just like you said, is going to feed back on down to that preferred lane, because I bet you those Goodyears right there were gasping for some air, some relief, and you can see there how that car kind of washed back up the racetrack, indication that the Waffle House has dumped the bacon grease underneath those Dr. Feelgoods. Translation, they probably got a little spicy.
Yeah. Now he's just going to have to take a couple laps, let the tires cool down, and then he can go on the attack and maybe put the pressure back there on Joseph.
And I'll tell you what, that type of a battle between the 70, in fact, let me rephrase that. Adam Benefield, Bryson Hixenbaugh, McWhorter, and Truex, almost at times throughout the course of this season, have been like magnets. They just cannot seem to get away from each other, and they have put on some epic battles, great performances, and even thrilling finishes. And I think we could be gearing up here for one tonight at the Paperclip as we write 185 laps now officially into the history books. We're going all the way tonight, 250 laps the scheduled distance. And if we need it, we do have that wild card overtime in our back pocket as well. As we now go back towards the front of this piece, another great battle currently building between Hixenbaugh and Benefield. Hixenbaugh up 4 spots from where he started. Adam right where he took the initial green flag in that second place position. Ford on Chevrolet action here. Who do you like in this position right now? Chris, do you want to be the leader right there, or do you prefer to be on the attack in the position of the 83 is right now?
I think Adam's in the prime position here. You know, he's putting all the pressure on Bryson. Bryson's the one that's got to be perfect. And as we say that, here Adam goes.
Yeah, he's going to turn it down to the bottom, send it downstairs. Now can he get back to the loud pedal? And he does, but the 63 is going to outgas him coming out of the corner. And that is an extra daunting task, especially when you consider how many laps Hixenbaugh has on those tires. Oh, trouble just in front of him. The 35 overshot the corner, did a great job of getting out of the way. And it's still a John Force special. They're drag racing now 3 wide at Martinsville. Hold on to it, boys. That got dicey.
Had to wash up the track right there, and Adam really took advantage of it and just took off.
Man, sometimes you got to have lug nuts of steel out there, and clearly that driver certainly did, as he just Bon Jovi'd it, living on a prayer. And look at the gap he was able to generate, because he was able just to own that moment out there on the racetrack. And you know, Chris, sometimes it works out for you and you look really good. Other times, though, it can backfire in your face. But hey, sometimes it's moments like that's what makes the difference out there on the racetrack.
It really does, you know. And Adam's a great driver. He can put that car in a lot of spots that I personally couldn't. I would probably end up in the wall right there. So
that makes two of us.
He's got a lot of car control.
a ton of car control. You know, in fact, when you talk about car control, you know, I've been calling a fair amount of races, and I've seen some of the most insane saves out of this group of drivers out here on the racetrack. Just when you think there's no way, they leave you there with a floor scraper trying to get your jaw back off the floor. Because you can really start to see those rotors starting to glow out the front of that 83, very indicative of Martinsville. And in fact, he is really starting to open it up. Now 1.6 second advantage over Hixenbaugh in that 63. But don't let that fool you. I think this is a calculated decision out of his camp, just to try and save those Goodyears, those Dr. Feelgoods, because we still have 55 laps remaining in this one, and that's not considering overtime should we need it. Let's go back to that 4th place position right now, currently occupied by McWhorter, another Chevrolet out there on the racetrack. Chevys have been doing very, very well at this short track. Again, smallest track we visit on the circuit. Historical racetrack, obviously the coveted grandfather clock, should you come across the start-finish line first. And McWhorter sitting in that top 5, right there in 4th. And look who's behind him. The 71 of Hunter Truex. Let those tires cool off, and just like you said, Chris, getting back on the attack as he's closing back in on McWhorter.
Yeah, he really had to let those tires just cool down, get a few laps. You know, they're trying to make their way through some lap traffic, so I like what he's doing. He just, you know, letting the 73 open the door for him. He's following him through. When they get some clear track, I look for him to start making some moves.
Absolutely. You can see that, you know, as he's closing the gap right now. In fact, last time by, the 71 to Truel, about 0.2 quicker that last time by. So even with, and just like that, we got a car facing the wrong way. You can't park there. And the yellow flag is going to reign supreme once again, as that's going to slow us back down to a snail's pace. And Chris, we're going to have to rack and stack them, do it all over again. Most of the leaders last down on lap 122. And we're going to probably see wholesale pit stops, and come one, come all, here comes the cavalry down pit road. As Benefield, Hicksonbaugh, Rose, McWhorter, bring the gauntlet. It's going to be the hottest spot inside the racetrack here once again. Everyone inside of the top 15. Tanner Marty is going to stay out on the racetrack. Tanner Marty, a driver you know very well from SNN. And this is about the biggest Tanner Marty move that you could possibly see. He loves this wild card. He holds it in his back pocket, and he's not afraid to play it. And I believe, Chris, that's going to cycle him all the way to the lead for the first time late in this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're mired back in the pack, that's the only thing you can really do. And, you know, Tanner definitely has the speed. He's got the talent to stay up there. If he can even make a few spots up and hold his own there at the front, you know, maybe in 15, 20 laps, get another caution and take his tires and be up at the front with all those guys.
Absolutely. And sometimes you got to be able to roll the dice, go, you know, full-blown Las Vegas high-stakes mode. And he was last down on pit road on lap 171. So he has, you know, fresher shoes on that Toyota than I initially thought. Is a lot of those guys that we were just talking about were last down on lap 121. So he still has some juice in the tank, and he's got fresher shoes than I initially thought he had on that race car as well. So the biggest thing for Marty here is going to be this restart. And I'm sure, as you know, when you have Sunday slippers on that race car, when you go to put the power down, sometimes that rear end doesn't want to bite, and that can really cause chaos, especially when you're restarting at the front.
Yeah, and especially when you're wanting to get a real good start, you know, he's going to want to try to get a jump on some of these guys. Get a couple car links out there. That way, if one of them comes up, he can just kind of duck in right behind them and keep that track position.
Yeah, absolutely. And similar story for the driver on the outside of the front row here, Daniel Llewellyn. He was last down on lap 151. So an even older set of tires on the car on the outside of Marty here. So both lanes of traffic going to have to pay attention to how this restart goes. I can tell you when Hicksonbaugh earlier in this race stayed out, I think the deficit was somewhere in the department of 66 laps. He got the restart of the century and actually took off away from some of these guys. Let's see what Tanner Marty has up his sleeve as we get ready to go back to all the high-flying, high-octane racing action here in the beautiful state of Virginia. Pace car pulls off. Marty's going to have the button here, Chris. Let's see where he goes inside this restart zone. About halfway, and a beautiful restart by Marty, and we got problems on the high side of the racetrack.
Yeah, that outside lane just did not get going. It looked like he spun the tires real bad, and unfortunately, it just stacks everybody up.
A big-time stack up on the outside lane. I thought, yep, there it is. There's the caution flag. I just didn't see how it was possible for everyone to get through that cleanly. And it almost looked like he was pre-staging for a drag race. You know, lighten the tires up there before you send it down the quarter mile. Not the case, but it is so difficult to get these cars, especially only having a 4-speed transmission versus the 5 that we have in that next gen, to get this car to bite. And I'm assuming that's what the culprit was there as we wait for timing and scoring to update. And just like we were talking about, Chris, those older tires coming into play as Brian Wertman may have been involved out there on the racetrack. Going to cut it now to the instant replay side of things. Folks, keep your eye on the driver out of Statesville, North Carolina. That's going to be the 35 ride. Let's go ahead and send it up to the chopper. Why not for this one? Let's roll playback. Everything is good to go there. Oh, it's going to pop off way in front of him. So the 03, got multiple cars around here. So let's cue this up one more time. There's the 35. Let's jump a few positions north of him. And let's take a look at this again. Oh, yeah. Big time contact there. 3 cars going to go around facing the wrong direction. All that smoke is going to clog up the escape arteries. And once again, Chris, these drivers doing a great job. Excellent situational awareness on the racetrack and able to find a way through the mayhem on the racetrack. So we now send it back to the live side of things.
And it's really hard to get these cars to stop when you see something like that happening. You know, they're at a point where everybody's jumping on the gas, and then they're having to immediately come to a stop. So, you know, a good call for all these guys to be able to miss it. I know there was a few cars there, but a lot of guys did a great job right there.
100%. Green flag back in the air once again. As it's hotter than an EF5 tornado out there on the racetrack right now, deep into this one. Chris, less than 50 laps to go. You're going for broke right now. You are giving it everything. You got into the caution flag is going to come back out again. Are you kidding me? Chris, as a driver, what is this doing to you right now when you're consistently having to slow things back down, restack it, send it just to see another caution flag when you're roughly 40 laps to go?
It really starts getting to you. You know, you're amped up, you're ready to go. You're trying to gain all that track position, but you know, every time the caution comes out, it's taking 4 to 5 laps off of any time that you have to get to the front. So it just amps it up that much more.
So less time on the scoreboard means you have to be that much more aggressive. And that's not just your mentality. That's virtually everyone else around you that's having to up the intensity. And eventually something has got to give somewhere out there on the racetrack. And I think that's what we're starting to see right now as well. Sometimes tempers, emotion can start getting in the way of things as well, especially this late in the race. But I'll tell you what, the drivers who are really shaking it off, not to quote Taylor Swift here, but these guys here at the point, Benefield, Rose, Hicksonball, Hunter, Truel, McWhorter, I mean, they are showing why they are some of the best in this elite field as they just keep doing what they need to do. They're out there racing the racetrack when they need to, and when it's permitting and at the right time, they are executing those moves out there on the racetrack. However, it's going to come to a point in time where those drivers are going to see red and nothing else is going to matter until they see God or a checkered flag. I know we're short track racing, but hey, that still applies. You think this is, at this point in time, the give and take is out the window for even some of these guys at the front who have been exercising that to the fullest?
I think so. I mean, again, it's all about that track position. You know, we'll see how the Team Conti cars up here do. See if they give and take. Looks like Adam's taking the outside here, so a little bit of team play there. But you know, what are we going to see on even teammates? Are they going to give the bumper, or are they just going to let the other one go?
Well, at some point in time, teammates, I feel, goes out the window. And I have to think if you're a driver like Eddie Rose that's still looking for that first win, I think it's possible you do potentially rough your teammate up just a little bit. Green flag back in the air, inside or the outside, it doesn't matter. Benefield has got that Nissan Skyline GTR under that Camaro body and all-wheel drive as he shoots out of a cannon here. Team County Cars 1-2. And the brass knuckles man with the heart of steel. Seems like nothing phases this guy. Bryson Hixenbaugh in third. However, he is under siege right now. And here goes the 71 to the outside again. Chris, he is liking that top lane.
That is very unnormal for Martinsville, but he's making it work. He's getting a great run off the corner right now. Those fresh tires are probably helping him out. If he can just pinch that 73 down just a hair bit off the corner, I think he can get that pass done.
This is insane. I mean, typically you don't. I thought myself as well, you're not supposed to do this at Martinsville. At least that's what they say. And Hunter Drool is trying to rewrite the book here. Oh, he's going to get loose and wadded up and back into the fence.
Oh, man. We was talking about that. Charging the corner just a little too hard right there.
Oh, and that Camaro jumps on the binders just hard enough as he's going to squeak on by through a gap big enough to fit his car in there between himself and the top of the fishbowl. And just like that, he overstepped the boundary. He's walking the fine line. In Days of Thunder, they said loose is fast and on the verge of out of control, and that 71 was quick on the high side. And he found where that threshold was, and unfortunately, backed that Toyota straight into the fence. And Chris, I'm not seeing as much damage out of that back of that TRD-powered machine as I initially thought. He looks to be all right.
Yeah, it don't look too bad. I know it kind of looks bad on the replay here, but I think he go on and put maybe some new set of shoes on it and get those tires. It should be able to come back out and be pretty quick still.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. And remember, no fast repairs here, so it's just like real life. If you wad it up, you have to fix it or put it on the hauler. Only 5 sets of tires laying in the pits to start this race. And I believe, if my telemetry is correct here, McWhorter has already used 4 sets, so he should have 1 remaining. However, I am not seeing the jack go to work on the 71 yet, as that car is in his box for service. That's going to be a damage repair and underway, so maybe he does not have any tires left in the pits. I mean, that would be a prime time when to put those tires on the race car, because I know we've had some cautions, but they're not always guaranteed.
It would be, but, these guys know what they're doing.
For sure.
He's an excellent driver, so, maybe he's thinking that he wants that last set for maybe a 10-lap shootout or something.
Yeah, there's nothing like having a fresh set of Dr. Feelgoods for a last chance qualifier setup, local track Friday night shootout when everyone else out there on the racetrack is on some beat up rubber. That just gives you all the confidence in the world as a driver as those lights go out on that iRacing.com pace car. Right now, it's the calm before the storm here at Martinsville. Chevrolet leads the way to Team Connie. Teammates, then you have McWhorter and Hixenbaugh. That's positions 1 through 4. Let's see if Adam can do it again on this restart as we approach the Geico restart zone. Dang, that 83 can take off.
He has those tires hooked up.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if he's slipping the clutch a little bit, but he has got a way to make that car shoot out of a cannon, and he has done it on new shoes, old ones, and everything in between. McWhorter now with a power move, going to take over that. And Chris, you guessed it, caution. As that caution flag continues to fly, folks, we're going to step aside for the final time this race. When we come back, we're going to have all-out coverage all the way to the checkered flag and more right here on Redline Racing Network. We'll see all of you in 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, welcome back to Martinsville Speedway, as it has been a short track throwdown of the ages tonight in primetime. The man out of Alabama, Adam Benefield, has the lead. He has executed restart mastery time after time again. However, he is going to have to execute once more, as he has a fierce competition all around him, all the way back to the 30th place position, as we still have 30 cars alive in this one. Matt Metler up in the booth alongside me from Beast Mode Performance. Chris Davis joining me for the first time tonight as that field makes its way through the turns 3 and 4 complex. Benefield has the button. He is ready to send it. In the words of Cletus McFarland, he lets it rip, tater chip, and what a restart again by the Rocket out here on the short track. He gets gone like no one. Opens it up over 0.3 of a second. Eddie Rose going to hold on to that second place position, but here we go once again, Chris, for third place. It's McWhorter and Hixenbaugh with the heavyweight knockout fight.
Yeah, McWhorter has that preferred line there, so it's going to be a tough battle for Bryson to get back up there. You know, after that round of pit stops, lose the lead, it's going to be a job to get back to the front.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to have some help. That's if he likes restarts and his car fires off good, that is. Because that yellow flag just will not stay down. They must have fed that thing some ADHD medication before we went racing tonight, because that thing just keeps springing up all over the place. They need to get Barney to just take that flag and give it to a kid in the grandstands.
Yeah, we just keep going back to this aggression level, and right there it just looks like Cody Bird in the 13 just steps on the gas a little too hard coming off the corner and loops it on the front stretch. Thankfully, no other cars got involved right there, but you know, the aggression level's high. Everybody just pushing to get all they can.
As Chris Davis takes a peek into the crystal ball, as we now take a look at that instant replay, going to hear or visually see what Chris Davis was talking about there just moments ago. Let's go ahead and run it. Keep your eye on Cody Bird. You can see the front of that race car already has pug face, and just like he said it, he gave the Taco Bell ride too much fire sauce coming out of the corner, and right round she goes. And just like he says, here for a long time, not a good time. And I think that might be a little bit of sarcasm, but he's had a little bit of a rough go here tonight. Driver for High Side Racing. Couple self-spins on the evening. However, Chris, he is fighting the good fight out there tonight currently. Even with a couple moments on the racetrack, still finds himself in the top 25, currently in that 21st place position. Let's check back in with Hunter Truehl. The 71 has rebounded to that 14th place position. That's where the McConey Speed Shops TRD powered machine currently sits in the running order right now. And he still has time left on the board to gain more positions on the racetrack. However, that time is starting to run out. As yet again, We get to watch I almost said McConey Speed Shop, Team Connie, do some more restart wars here. Chris, the 83 has been superb. What does Eddie Rose need to do to try and shift the mojo from the 83 to himself here on this restart?
He's got to hang with him just a little bit better. Keep it within a car length so he can really attack the corners and put that pressure on Adam.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did a little bit better that time, and he's a lot closer, but so did Hixenbaugh as well. That field is starting to get the timing now, and they're getting a lot of practice at it as it looks like the formation of Blue Angels coming out of turns 3 and 4 as it's side-by-side. John Force special for those drivers fighting for that third-place position. Hixenbaugh is going to go way up to the nosebleeds, almost makes contact with the wall. He's going to lose a spot to Schofield, who's showing up big late in this race again as we got the gentleman's handshake lap in the air. Just 10 laps to go in this one, Chris.
Yeah, Eddie's really got to start putting that pressure on because, don't look too far back because you also have Joseph now. He's clear. He's coming up back up to the front. He's wanting that front spot.
McWhorter always is going to eat until he can't eat anymore. I've never seen a driver just content running out there on the racetrack. He is always going to get as much as he can as he gets a piece of the wall. And Chris, you know better than anybody, this car doesn't take shots like that like the next gen does. You have to be very careful. You go up there and start having and high-fiving that thing 2 times, it's going to knock the toe out and do a lot more than that.
It will, and after you get that damage, it's so hard to get the car to turn. You'll start seeing the cars get a lot tighter. So you really want to keep it off that wall.
Absolutely, 100%. Let's check back in with the 71 of Hunter Truehl. He is now up to that 11th place position, and he is going at it right now with Tanner Marty, 2 Toyotas, doing the dance out there on the racetrack side by side, door to door, with just 6 laps to go in this short track showdown. Great battle here.
He's back on that high side. He ain't giving it up.
He has got something figured out on the top shelf of this racetrack. And I'll tell you what, Chris, when you're a driver and no one else can do it and you can, that is a beautiful weapon to have in your back pocket. In the words of LL Cool J, he is doing it and doing it well right now. But we got to cut back to the front of this thing because we are only less than 3 laps from the checkered flag as Adam Benefield continues to carry the torch. And in fact, he has lit the afterburner, running some of his fastest laps of the race. Now 7/10 of a second, and there's smoke in front of him. I thought we may have seen a caution flag, but race control is going to keep it lean, mean, and green as Adam Benefield is walking away now from Eddie Rose.
Yeah, caution is the last thing Adam wants to see. He just wants this thing to go green, 20-second laps. He just wants to finish this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, we see a caution flag here. I hope they got Dr. Phil on speed dial because they're going to have to give me the voice of reason and calm the 83 back down. As popsicle sticks go off the board, 1 lap to go. We are racing back to the checkered flag. Less than a quarter mile now for Adam Benefield. He just needs a clean straightaway. He's going to salute the fans in the stands as he comes into the turns 3 and 4 complex. He's going to come off turn number 4, sees the checkered flag, and nobody circles the wagons at Martinsville Speedway like Adam Benefield. Team Connie's going to finish 1 and 2 as Eddie Rose comes home second in the hard charger in the Ford Mustang. Bryson Hixenbaugh third. Jim Schofield, Carlos Fonseca comes home 5th, up 23 positions. And how about Hunter Truehl ripping the top shelf of the racetrack like you would at Miami? He does it on the high side, and Chris, he rallies all the way back to that 10th place position.
Yeah, that's amazing that he's able to gain all that track position back. Probably not where he wanted to finish, but, having tough luck at the end of a race and then be able to drive back up to 10th and get a top 10, heck of a job for him.
Heck of a job for him. And how about this burnout by Adam Benefield as he's putting on a show for the fans in the stands right now. And hey, you don't need any more good in that Goodyear. Oh, he almost he almost ate the wall there. In fact, he's gonna grab the flux capacitor and send it back down to pit road. Well, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? Another great battle, slugfest, everything you expect from these boys in the Xfinity Friday Night Light Series. And Adam Benefield is gonna outlast the competition and pull off some restart wizardry and be the first man across the start-finish line when the checkered flag flies. We're now going to transition to post-race coverage. We'll be back in 30 seconds with driver interviews. Stick around. So
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
race fans, welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia, better known as the Paperclip. As moments ago, Adam Benefield, Team Conti entry, going to take all the hot dogs in the house and the checkered flag, and he is going to cash in here big time in prime time. I'm Matt Metler alongside from Beast Mode Performance's own Chris Davis, making his broadcast debut tonight. And Chris, man, for the first time up here in the booth, man, just like you're down there on the racetrack, the biscuit kick the Trisket, man. You've owed that up here, buddy. Hell of a job from you. As we now shift to post-race coverage. What'd you think? Was that everything you thought it was going to be? And it is. That is the most honest answer I have gotten from a driver yet, Chris. And it's a different perspective on things, isn't it? I appreciate that. Was a great answer. I wish I could get these guys in the interview, to be honest as you, but sometimes it's politics, right? You just can't be, and I respect that. But now we get ready to shift gears here to post-race coverage. Top three coming at you as always, as we give these boys a chance to speak with their fans, family, and teams before they hop in the waiting room before we jump up, bring them up here to the booth. And I believe we have a couple drivers standing by. And in fact, we do. We have our top three: Eddie Rose, Bryson Hixenbaugh, and Adam Benefield. So what do you say, Chris? Let's do this in reverse tonight. We're going to start with our third place finisher. That's going to be Bryson Hixenbaugh. Let's grab him and drag him up here to the booth. Almost dropped him in race control. That would have been funny. Joining me now in the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. Every time there seems to be a checkered flag, you can almost bet on Bryson Hixenbaugh being in the after party up here in the booth. Welcome to the Tony Trapassa Memorial broadcast booth. Congratulations on a third place finish, Bryson. This one wasn't easy for you. You had to get up on the wheel and earn it. Walk me through your race tonight.
Had a real fast car, started off great in stage one. Couldn't quite catch Adam to win stage one, and then pulled some strategy that put us in the back foot. I wanted to kind of get off cycle with what everybody else did and see if I could cycle myself to the front at beginning of stage three. It worked to begin stage three, but I couldn't hold on long enough there. And it really just didn't get myself in a good enough position here to challenge Adam and Eddie for the front two spots. Maybe if we had gone green a little bit in those last 40 laps, I could have tried to make moves, but I was just restart after restart trying to see if I could get clear fast enough to make a challenge, and I couldn't do it.
I'll tell you what, talking about getting off cycle, correct me if I'm wrong here, but timing and scoring gave me a number that left my jaw hanging off of the floor for probably a solid 20 minutes. Did you stay out there for 99 laps on those shoes?
Yeah, on that first set of tires.
Incredible.
My first pit stop was around lap 100 when we had a caution. And I only took 2 tires, I think.
That's correct. Only 2 tires. So, First of all, I mean, that has to defy the laws of physics somewhere. And I know I'm probably just, playing this up more than it is, but that is a long time to be out there on a set of Goodyears. I mean, this is the older car. These are 15-inch tires, not the 17s. And these things wear out quick, fast, and in a hurry. And not only that, you had to do a restart on those tires as well. And I thought for sure this may be the one time we see a mistake from you, but was not the case. You were able to get that Mustang to basically bite and take off. I couldn't believe it. How are you able to get that car to launch like that, even though you had a 66-lap tire deficit at the time? That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I knew I had to take it real easy on that restart. I was hoping more people would stay out behind me at the beginning of stage 2 and kind of give me a buffer, but it didn't really happen that way. Luckily, the guys directly behind me were on the same, or at least older tires, so I knew I wasn't going to get jumped right when I went, and I was able to roll into it easily. But then once it went green in stage 2, I was just falling like a rock and couldn't hang on to any spots until I finally pit on lap 100-ish.
Yeah, you finally got a chance to come down pit road, and I'm sure all of those cautions probably threw your strategy, and I'm sure a lot of other drivers out the window to a certain degree, but nonetheless, you found a way to make up those positions and drive to the front. You come home with another podium finish here in the Friday Night Lights Xfinity Series. Who do you want to thank who helps you get it done? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to thank Team Conti Sim Performance for amazing setups week in and week out here. Nick Ottinger does a lot of great stuff for the Xfinity car, and Dustin Hall and Michael Conti also do a great job on the truck and next gen. Doing a lot of wins, official series, leagues every week, and it's great to rep them and go out here and compete for wins.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, do not sleep on Bryson Hixenbaugh. And when you think you got him behind the 8-ball, that's right where he wants you, is he's able to rally late, tear up that racetrack, gain a lot of positions, and he comes home in third. Thanks for your time up here in the booth, and I hope we look forward to speaking with you again really soon. Have a great rest of your weekend, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend as well.
Always a pleasure to speak with the driver of the 63, Bryson Hixenbaugh. And Chris, I'm telling you, if you could bet on iRacing and DraftKings, he would definitely be in my starting lineup because that man always seems to put it on the podium or in victory lane, one or the other.
You just can't keep those fast guys in the back. They're going to push their way to the front no matter what. He's one of them.
Absolutely, 100%. Always appreciate him anytime he comes up here in the booth because he's always going to tell you what's on his mind, unfiltered and raw, and I appreciate that out of the 63. As we continue to charge on with our post-race interviews. Matt Mettler, Chris Davis, of course, up in the booth. And there is something strange going on here with the motor coach lot. Is Bryson basically got drugged through 5 or 6 voice chats here. I think he ended up in the right spot. He's back in the lot now. Hopefully he doesn't think I did that to him. I may hear about it next time I interview. Now carrying on. Our second place finisher, Eddie Rose in the 46. He had an eventful evening. He threw it down in prime time. Joining us now in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, came home second. Another Team Conti driver out there doing it and doing it well. Eddie, Matt, and Chris up in the booth. Walk me through your race tonight, man. The floor is yours.
Oh, boy. Well, qualified fairly well. Kept myself up there, and then I had a little issue coming off of pit road. I guess I had an EOL. Um, and then I kind of went to the back. I had to drive up through. Got up to about eighth, I believed, and was on the outside of somebody. And I think I just barely got doored a little bit and slid the tires. Locked them up the very next corner going into that. So then I just kind of bided my time a little bit, let a caution come out, went back to the back, drove up through there again. And then just kind of got lucky there at the end, was able to make a couple passes and congratulations to Adam. He ran a heck of a race. I didn't, once I got to second, I didn't have anything for him. I tried there on that last restart and felt like the first lap or two, I might've had a little something, and then he just started kind of walking a little bit, but yeah, other than that, it was pretty eventful. Feel like I passed a whole bunch of cars. Had a good time. Congratulations to Bryson, also third place. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddie, if I covered or asked you all the questions that I would like to over the course of this race tonight, we'd probably be up here for 2 hours breaking down your run this evening, because like you said, you were literally all over the place from the back to the front to the back again. And I think you passed more cars than anyone out there on the racetrack. I mean, you were a lean, mean passing machine this entire race, and you had to work for this one. I mean, what was the pulse rate like at the end of this thing when you came across the start and finish line second?
I was pumped up. Like I said, I mean, I knew we had a good car. Team Conti stuff is top notch. So, really it was a lot of patience, just, trying to get a guy. I was trying to get my goal was a guy a lap there with the fresher tires. I felt like I was going to be able to move up through there, but finishing second, feels good. I would have loved to have got a win. But like I said, the better car won, better driver won. So again, congratulations to Adam, and we'll pack it on and go to next week.
I hear you, man, loud and clear, but do not sell yourself short. That was a whale of a drive from you tonight. And anytime adversity showed its ugly face, you had a solution. You didn't let it play those mental games with you, able to adapt and overcome and put on a heck of a performance here all the way up to the front and came up just a little bit short. Joining me for the first time tonight ever, Chris Davis from Beast Mode Performance. Chris, any questions for Eddie Rose? He's with you.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think having a teammate, kind of controlling the restarts, did that help you, or did that kind of give you a disadvantage since he's the one taking off, or how did that play out for you?
Well, it definitely gave me an advantage, obviously, with him being able to get the first jump. Kind of lets me protect the inside there, and little bit of teamwork there. Also had Bryson, so I feel like it kind of helped him out there towards the end of the race. Get him into third, and definitely a little teamwork going on. But like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I just didn't have nothing for that 83 up there. He was the class of the field tonight, and it definitely showed there.
Chris, I appreciate that. And Eddie, I appreciate your time as well. Before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 46?
Oh, definitely, working with the Conti crew, Nick Ottinger and the things he puts into these cars. A lot everything goes out to them guys. Adam too, run a lot with him. So, just the Team Conti crew, man. They're top notch, best in the business.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Was not going to let adversity or multiple trips to the back of the field slow down his evening. Was able to rise to the occasion and drive that 46 Team Conti machine to a second place finish. That is the one and only Eddie Rose. Thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope to speak with you again really soon, bud.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate Eddie joining us up here in the booth. We'll go ahead and we're going to drop him off in the motor coach lot. And Chris, that means 2 down, 1 to go. And joining us now in the Tony Trapassa Memorial Broadcast booth, who Eddie Rose just said moments ago was the class of the field and the first driver across the start-finish line, Adam Benefield. What a run by you this evening. You got to be pumped up after that.
Yeah, we're definitely happy about that. Glad was able to get the win. Glad we was able to keep the 63 from winning. Yeah, it was a good showing.
Adam, good showing. And I know you probably don't want to be, too overzealous in here, but man, let it out, dude. You were the heck. You put on a clinic out there. Let's just call it what it was. There are so many different things I could talk to you about this race tonight. Obviously, all the cautions being, one of them. But I want to kind of fast forward this a little bit, get into the back half of this race when you had to sit there and win restart after restart after restart. That right there is going to mentally tax some of the best drivers. I don't care who you are. And yet you were like the Iceman. You had an answer for every time you restacked the deck, and quite frankly, looked like a 1,000 horsepower Nissan GTR with all-wheel drive out there coming out of the hole shot. How were you able to just dominate in those clutch moments like that? Because it is tough to do that, especially against the level of talent in this field.
Yeah, it was a lot of cautions. The car felt pretty tight, pacing around there. So glad when we go back going, it was just perfect. So we had that going. But no, the restarts, I don't know, like it's getting jumps like that. I don't know. I've always kind of had a knack at it, even in the real life racing with late models and everything. It's kind of been something that I don't know what I do different from anybody else. It's just something I got a good little knack for. But like Eddie said, was trying to keep it, do teamwork, and then we had an agreement inside 10 to go. Like I would give him the bottom, but kind of telling him where I'm firing. I'm not going. We wasn't gonna do it. I was just gonna fire. But it worked out. Been beat many times here by others doing it. I mean, hell, you see it on Sundays with the Cup guys. So we played the strategy, played the game. Was able to come away with a 1-2, really a 1-2-3, but we don't claim the 63. But yeah, it was a good night.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, your winner once again, Eddie Rose, and I appreciate you kind of peeling back the curtain there and give us a behind-the-scenes look with that team communication and those pivotal moments of the race. I appreciate that. We typically don't get that much of a up-close and personal look, and to our viewers out there, we appreciate that, and I appreciate that, Eddie. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 46?
Oh, this is Adam.
Oh, I'm looking at my notes, Adam. I apologize. There's my dumb moment of the evening. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No worries, brother. Everybody at Team Conti, I was lucky enough to join them at the end of my coach career, and been there since. It's a great group of guys. Everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance for building it to what it is. Very proud of what we have over there. And Bobby and everybody over here that's brought this league back. This was a unbelievable league back a couple of years ago, and unfortunately, the owners had to step away. But we're very thankful that Bobby brought it back. He's doing it the right way, and it's really, if I wasn't so played such a big part with Team Conti TCSP, this would be the only place that I would probably run. I wouldn't even run official races because this league is freaking badass. And
yes,
sorry,
sir.
but it is. But yeah, no, and you for broadcasting. I normally no matter who's broadcasting in the race for the race, I'll have it pulled up and put on a separate monitor. So thank you for broadcasting, and yeah, everybody that makes this possible.
Well, Adam, I certainly appreciate that. I know Chris does as well. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the plan. Needed to be the Iceman out there and exercise patience to its fullest, and does. A restart warrior at its finest, a real-life race car driver, takes those skills in the real world, applies them here to iRacing, and was untouchable in those closing moments of the race. He was bad fast out there in competition as well. That is the one and only Adam Benefield. Thank you for your time, and I hope to speak with you again really soon.
Thank you.
Go ahead and we'll put you over there in the motor coach lodge.
All right.
As he's now joining the rest of his competitors over there for post-race breakdown and more. And Chris, that's going to wind up post-race interviews. And man, I got to tell you, for the first time up in the booth, you seem like a natural and you've done this before, buddy. You didn't freeze. You didn't flinch one bit.
Well, I appreciate it. It's hard. I don't know how you do it every week, every time you're doing it. You make it seem so flawless, and I want to tell you, it's nerve-wracking just to sit here and watch and try to commentate on everything. I know some people don't, they give broadcasters a hard time, but it's not an easy job. So I would suggest that anybody who thinks they can do it, jump up here and try it one day. It's very nerve-wracking.
Hey, Chris, you know what? I appreciate you putting those nerves aside, and I appreciate the compliment. And you're right, it's not always easy. But like you said, it's a lot of fun up here, and it gives you a different perspective. And, that's why I do it, because it's always a good time up here. And, anything you do in life, you're always going to have your critics. And that's just part of life. That's how it goes. But, hey, you heard what Chris said. If you want to give it a shot, I'll leave the door open just like it was for Chris to jump up in here, and he killed the opportunity. And hopefully we have a chance to have him back here in the booth, especially a driver that has all the expertise and that seat time, all that knowledge being translated to the broadcast and available is an excellent resource to have here up top in the booth. And I appreciate you once again, Chris, for being up here with me. Well, folks, it's come to that point in time in the race when all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. Cannot do this without our Strategic Family Alliance members. Got to thank Team Watson Racing Setups. If you want to put some serious vibe in your ride, get out of the static, go see the boys over there. That give you more than a setup shop. It's a family. Anything iRacing related, they have a solution. Tell them Redline Racing Network sent you. And also, Black Magic. Get those new paint schemes on your ride. Get out of the static, of course, again. Go see the boys at Black Magic. And remember, it's good for 2/10 out there on the racetrack. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on Redline Racing Network.